Alright, here we are at the IAE, and I'm recording here on Crusader Day, but I will be posting this on Thursday, which is American Thanksgiving. So in honor of that, I want to offer you this dinnertime conversation starter. Obviously, this ad is either supposed to represent or is supposed to actually be footage from Operation Sword of Hope, which was a joint operation between Empires Overlooked and Crusader Industries to deliver supplies to the people of Dellen on Charon 3, who are embattled in this ongoing Charon 3 civil war. The conversation starter is, isn't it kind of weird to send tanks and long-range bombers on a humanitarian mission? Like, that actually annoys me so much. Like, obviously, that is not appropriate for a humanitarian mission. What it is appropriate for is a commercial to sell your weapons platform. So you pack all your stuff up, and not to say that the people of Dellen don't need supplies, but it's an active conflict zone, and you're literally bringing tanks and boxes of, okay, yeah, probably food and medical supplies and stuff like that, but a big old question mark on what else might be in there. Obviously, the other party to this conflict, Acheron, is not going to want you to land. They've said as much in the past, and without even getting into whether they're in the right or they're in the wrong, inevitably they're going to start shooting at you, and that justifies bringing in your A2s and bombing the shit out of them. And why is this permitted to happen? Would this happen in Bremen? Would it happen on Hurston? I think it's allowed to happen on Charon 3, because Charon 3 looked at the post-Messer UEE order and said, nope, not enough has changed. They took a step back from the Empire by revoking their recognition, and that makes them backwards, which means we can kind of do whatever we want there, like show off our weapons platform under the guise of delivering humanitarian supplies. Uncle Jed, what do you think of that? Aunt Mary, can you pass the mashed potatoes? Fair warning though, if you're having Thanksgiving dinner on Orison, you might get tossed off of the platform.
Unlike many of their competitors, Crusader Industries dedicates as much effort on their employees as they do on their products. Recognized as one of the UEE's best employers in 2943 and 2946, Crusader not only offers competitive pay and benefit programs to all employees, but also houses extensive in-house training and education programs to foster talent and take their workers to the next level of their career.
Anyways, I love Crusader Industries. I like the styling of it, but I like the idea of the company kind of fumbling through this attempt to be an example of benevolent capitalism. It's a frequent topic of conversation in my org because obviously, like, Stanton is this 4-planet take on capitalism run amok, right? Hurston is like this neo-feudal society, and ArcCorp is this planet-wide system of basically dead-end jobs. But I think Microtech and Crusader are kind of subtler in their implicit, I guess, criticism, with Crusader Industries being kind of the weirdest. I mean, Crusader Industries doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense as far as, like, a corporation goes. Now, I think part of the problem is just that the lore is a little bit underdeveloped at this point. I think there's a potential explanation in how Crusader Industries functions as a kind of, like, Warren Buffett story meets Gates Foundation sort of situation, where, like, later investors have kind of glommed onto August Dunlow's sort of vision for the company to sort of have an example of benevolent capitalism that works and stave off any sort of potential fundamental economic reforms in the post-Messer era. Which is why, like, I hate that Crusader has gotten into making a bomber, and I hate that Crusader has this Ares starfighter platform now, but I don't think it's bad lore necessarily. I think it makes sense as a story of this ideological core at the center of Crusader Industries being this sort of megacorporation cum NGO type thing is eroding over time. So they're chasing after this military or mercenary sector of the market, even though it might not comfortably sit with their ideals, because they're still a company. They can't do things like food aid if there's not money to do it with. Anyways, I'm sort of planning to do a very brief video essay about that, much like I did a few months ago with how Orison floats. Probably in the new year, I want to tackle each of the 4 megacorporations of Stanton, give a brief take of the portraits that they paint about the economy and society of the UEE. Anyways, that's what I've got for this week. Nothing super action-packed. Just an excuse to walk the show floor and rant a little bit about Crusader Industries, which I've decided is where my character kind of comes from, where his family live, and something that he and I think about a fair bit. I hope you're enjoying the IAE. I'm excited to see what they announce for the 2 new ships today, and I'll see you all next week.